A 7-month-old mini Cockapoo gets really bitey with me sitting on the couch. Not mouthing, but biting. Good distinction. Tried to ignore, distract, give a toy. Nothing seems to be working. That's because when it comes to biting, you do not want to distract. What happens is what you're seeing, they're not getting any improvement, right? There has to be a valuable no. So, Mike, there's 2 tiers to this. First of all, it is very common for dogs to get amped up when they're on even playing field with you, on couch, on the bed, on furniture. My little dog Happy used to freak out on the bed. It's when she was the most intense with playing fetch and stuff. And she knew she was on an even playing field. They're animals. They know physical hierarchy as well as, mental, boundaries hierarchy. And so sometimes that just makes dogs go a little nutty. It makes it more fun. You're on this even playing field. Can't think of another name besides that. Sorry. But whenever you are in that situation, there's a few things you can do. One is 7-month-old, go ahead and start to, I'm not going to tell you to keep a Cockapoo on the floor. I'm not crazy. So, but you can do a little more floor work. But I also want you to practice a calming command on the couch. So that's best done with some sort of bed. So you could have a blanketed spot on your couch. I would prefer starting with an actual dog bed though, since you're kind of struggling. Hopefully you have taught a go to your bed command on the ground. We call it place. And so it's place, sit down, good food. Let's go, turn, place, sit down, good food. And then you work on stay, right? Hopefully you've done that on the ground. If you haven't, that's where you've got to start. And then I would take that place bed, or any place bed, maybe it can be the couch place bed, put it up next to you and have a little space, and and the dog would still be on leash, and I would work on, place, sit down, good. He starts to get in my lap, block, grab leash, little leash pressure, no, stay, and work on that, then on the bed. And then you can eventually relax, lean back, and continue to, good, piece of food. Ignore the puppy for 10 seconds. Good piece of food. And a 7-month-old, honestly, could easily do an hour in place. No big deal. So build to that. You can build to that within a couple of weeks. If you know what to do, you could jump on YouTube, learn how to teach place balance training, which just means probably you should see a slip lead and body language to have the dog move, back to place, away from you to teach resets. That's generally what a lot of balance training looks like. But you could do it on harness. You could do it on a martingale. I wouldn't do it on flat collar. But yeah, so that's how to actually cultivate some more calm on your couch. Stop petting and teach calm, no touch, no association on the couch. Usually when dogs do that, I'll just be honest with you, Linz, I'm well, the dog doesn't want to be pet. If the dog's doing that, they don't want to be pet. And this breed, the breed mix that you mentioned, is notorious for being higher energy and pretty, pretty nutty in the adolescent phase. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean that they're just very, very energetic. And she wants to learn how to do stuff, and she wants to be shown the world, not sit on the couch and be pet. So it makes me wonder, how much playtime versus work. We call playtime, work time, calm time, break time. A lot of puppies don't get much break time. Calm time is crate, and when you're practicing trying to teach your puppy how to be calm out of crate. And then you've got work time and playtime. A lot of times, some families are doing 75% playtime and only 25% work, which is teaching obedience, which is on the walk and in the house, And that messes the puppies up because it's way too much drive and excitement without enough structure, guidance, leadership, all that stuff. And so, just look at what your day, looks like with those kind of 4 quadrants and see what adjustments you can make to just have a calmer dog in general. And I'm telling you, this breed is that we've seen is prone to being a little extra during adolescence. Different than a German Shepherd or another breed. But it's very much this excitement for life and quite a bit of energy, to be honest. What is happening?
Wow. Very special.
That was for you. That was for you, Linz. And so that's another thing. Okay, so let's get to really quickly, because honestly, this is the quickest part, the actual biting itself. I would have your puppy drag around a leash when supervised, of course. And if I am on the couch, I'm making sure I'm petting calmly, staying away from the ears and the face, because that always triggers, I mean, you saw it if you were here in the very beginning. I mean, you saw it with that puppy that I had. If I have a hand in front of her face or if I touch her face, she's going to go for it right away, right? So what I would do is I'm cultivating that, that down. I'm patterning, the repetition of that down and calm down. If she seems calm, which is the only time you should really pet your puppy anyway, because you want to reward calmness. Make sure your petting is calm. And so like it is slow. Even if you're scratching, your fingers are slow. Your puppy should melt into affection, not get crazed by affection, which is what often happens when you're petting quickly and talking sweetly and excitedly, and staying around the ears and the face, and you accidentally make your hands represent excitement. So it might take some time. So first, let's make sure you're doing that nice and calm. And as soon as you get the bitiness, I can just grab the leash. No, and leash pressure straight up. Now you're not lifting your dog clear off the ground. You're just doing tension, like your little paws, or they're still down. They're still in a down, or their paws are still touching the ground. We're not lifting our dogs up. It's just a little bit of tension to show, like calm down and just out and away from you. They can relax. Good. Don't touch them. Just pause for a second. Good. Go to touch them again. And even if they're good for just like 2 seconds, good, maybe piece of food, So really play around with that and see where you can get as far as using all of those tools to not just work on the biting, but actually train, raise the dog that you want, for the next 12 to 15 years, just to be honest. Okay, cool. All right, I'm moving on.